Did you know that regular exercise and stress reduction techniques like meditation and deep breathing can also help support hormonal balance? Hello, action taker. Welcome to Live Blissed Out, a podcast where I have inspirational and informational conversations with business owners and subject matter experts to help you get the scoop on a variety of topics. Tired of hesitating or making decisions without having the big picture? Want to be in the know? Then this is the place to go. I'm your host, Marissa Houston, helping you achieve bliss through awareness and action. So let's get to it. In this episode, Dr. Erin Foley shares the 3 keys to a vibrant, balanced body for women. Dr. Erin is a functional medicine practitioner, chiropractor, and health coach with Vibrant Healthy Woman programs, as well as a speaker, author, and coach. She helps women balance their hormones naturally, helping with energy, sleep, weight, metabolism, mood, mental clarity, gut health, digestion, hormones, hot flashes, and PMS. She works with hormone testing, nutrition, lifestyle, supplement programs, and health coaching to help women make lifestyle changes that can bring lasting and positive change. To learn more, visit vibranthealthywoman.com and get your free guide on 5 steps for women to have more energy. The information, opinions, and recommendations presented in this podcast are for general information only, and any reliance on the information provided in this podcast is done at your own risk. This podcast should not be considered professional advice. Hi, Dr. Erin. I'm so glad you're here. What's our conversation going to be about today?
Well, hi, and thank you for having me on today. I wanted to talk about the 3 keys to a vibrant, balanced body and life. How to propel yourself to success with balanced hormones at any age. So it's about hormones for women, no matter what age that you're at.
This is really great because I think a lot of women are dealing with this and they hear that buzzword a lot, hormones. And we just assume that people understand what they are and how they affect us. But I don't want to assume that. I think there are a lot of listeners, including myself, who want to really understand what are hormones and how do they affect women particularly. Could you shed some light on that for us?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. I'm a functional medicine practitioner, and I work in functional medicine. It helps to get to the root cause of health issues and not cover them up. So we're always looking to find out what is the underlying cause of a health issue. And your hormones for women are so important. First of all, when I do public speaking, I speak to a group of women, I'll usually ask them, what do you think of when I say the word hormones? And usually women will say estrogen and sometimes weight gain or perimenopause or PMS. But really, it's more than just hot flashes and PMS. You have your female hormones, but you also have other hormones. So think of your female hormones as being the tip of the iceberg. And underneath that, the iceberg under the water are your other hormones. And these are your metabolic hormones, which are your stress hormones, your blood sugar hormones, and your thyroid hormones. And these all have really key influences on how you feel and how your body works.
So there's just a lot of moving parts that we need to consider that could be impacting different things that we experience, like lack of energy or weight gain, which is a big one, or the fact that we feel like our metabolism has slowed down. So all of these different symptoms that we're experiencing as women are all tied to that.
Absolutely. So the main reasons women come to see me in my functional medicine practice is because of low energy and fatigue. They may be tired all the time, and weight gain and slow metabolism, and also sleep issues. Those are the big ones that they come for. And these are not related to your female hormones. And they're not coming for hot flashes and PMS as the main thing. Say you're having issues with fatigue and tiredness. This can be like you're waking up tired. Well, maybe you're not sleeping well, but you're waking up tired. You're tired all day. Or maybe you're having afternoon energy slumps after you eat, and you just don't have the energy to get you through the day. Well, this could be from your stress hormones, which is your adrenal cortisol hormones. Those are your fight or flight hormones. So those are very important. And they're very much impacted by stress. And so if you have a very stressful life and you have a lot going on, you could be in fight or flight mode all the time, and this can deplete your adrenals and can make you tired. Also, I look at blood sugar hormones. You can actually get tiredness throughout the day from what you're eating. And the same thing with weight gain. Both of those hormones, your cortisol and your blood sugar hormones, are really the things that can cause weight gain and keep you stuck. So that's one thing that I see a lot.
So is there a specific time when this starts to have a greater impact on women? Is there an age, number basically that we're looking for here to say usually by this time women are starting to experience this, or could it happen at any time?
Well, generally, I see women between the ages of like 35, even up to 75. But I would say a lot of women start experiencing this in their 40s because there may be some fluctuations in the female hormones. So if you have any stress, maybe you have a family, you have a business, maybe you have kids, and you're just a busy woman, stress can cause some of these hormones to deplete. So it kind of can show up in the 40s when maybe you're starting to feel tired and you're starting to gain that weight and you're just not knowing why. And you're thinking, oh, it's just my hormones. Well, it's your metabolic hormones. And there are things you can do about it to help you feel better, have a normal, healthy weight. And a lot of it just has to do with, first of all, knowing what's going on with your hormones.
Yeah, that's the key, right? Is really understanding what you're dealing with. I think that a lot of us are used to these quick fix situations, or at least ideally that's what we want. We want to take medicine and then everything gets fixed and it goes away and we go back to living our lives. Do you find that a lot of women have to deal with these issues ongoing, meaning they have to make changes in their lives or take certain medicines or get the support that they need ongoing? Or is this one of those things where you can determine this is the problem and here's the solution, and then they can get that instant gratification that they're looking for?
Well, I would say the answer to that would be both of them are correct because, first of all, on one hand, our health and our body, it's a journey because every decade of our lives as women, we do have different things happening. So 20s, 30s, childbearing, as you get more towards late 30s, then your hormones start to change. And then when you're in your 40s, you're going through more hormonal changes and you're doing different things at every decade. Maybe you're raising kids, or maybe now your kids are leaving the nest. And it all comes back to how you're taking care of yourself. So when I see women in my practice, they'll come into me with a variety of symptoms, mostly weight gain that they can't get off, slow, sluggish metabolism, sleep, and energy issues. And so really what we do is it's like, okay, let's test. Let's see what's going on. And we do tests specifically for the blood sugar and the cortisol and stress hormones and the thyroid and find out what's going on. Because a lot of times women will blame themselves, like say, I'm just getting old or older. This is what happens when you get older. And that's not necessarily true. You know, if you're 45, you shouldn't be not feeling well. You should have energy. You should be able to sleep. So really, when I look at this, it's like, yes, you want to find out what's going on. And then you want to find out what the things are that fix the problem. I always work with nutrition, supplements, lifestyle, and health coaching. So all of those things, there's really never a quick fix. But sometimes, you know, I've had women in a month, they'll lose 12 pounds. They got started right away on the nutrition plan, the supplements, and they're starting to feel better. And once you break that cycle of stress and they start to feel better, they're able to make the changes. And I was just talking to a client yesterday who she lost 55 pounds last year. She still has another 50 to go, but she's totally thrilled. But that is the ongoing process. It's a choice every day of how we take care of our bodies. And that includes what we eat, how we move our bodies, what supplements we take, what's our stress level, and what's our self-care. Those are all the things that make up the things that create our health every day.
Are you searching for a trusted merchant service provider for your business? SG Associates LLC is your partner for quality payment and merchant service solutions. With over 15 years of experience in credit card processing, SG Associates offers merchants the best pricing, products, and customer service available from a payment and solution service provider. Their number one goal is to save their merchants as much as possible on their credit card processing fees. To learn how they can help you, call 1-800-455-5211 or visit sg-associatesllc.com. So it sounds to me like, based on what you're saying, we obviously have to start with understanding what the causes might be. And they're usually in the areas that you mentioned, you know, how we're taking care of ourselves and so on. And then based on that understanding, once we have that data, then you can work with your clients collaboratively to figure out a plan or a process to implement to make those changes. And then, of course, it will have a lot to do with the client and how they respond to it, whether they're following the process and communicating with you effectively and that sort of thing. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, that's absolutely true because what's going on with you may not be the same that's going on with me. And you and I could do the same exact thing for our bodies and get completely different results unless we know exactly what's going on. So a woman who has low stress hormones may not be able to handle stress because her stress hormones are low. That can cause weight gain. It can cause stress eating. It can cause cravings. And think of how many women may be beating themselves up and judging themselves like, well, I just have no willpower. Nothing works for me. Well, really, it's like we got to boost your adrenal function, your cortisol levels, so that you have some gas in your tank so that you can actually start doing healthy habits. That's one of the things about the adrenal cortisol hormone, which is your stress hormones. That's basically the gas in your tank. And so that's why that one is so important.
Okay, so that makes total sense. When people typically are going through these experiences, they're feeling not right, there's something off. The first thing I see most people do, or most women, they'll call their general practitioner. They'll say, hey, I need to schedule an appointment and I want to have a conversation with you because I'm having these issues. How do we know when it's the right time to switch gears and say, okay, GP's not enough. I need somebody that really specializes in these areas, somebody like Dr. Erin who can really dig deeper. How do we know when it's the right time to reach out to you?
Well, first of all, a lot of women are falling through the cracks. So lately, I've had a lot of clients and patients who come in, and they're women who've been told that, well, your A1C is high and you're pre-diabetic. And they're not really being told what to do to fix it. That's pretty much it. Or they can't get all the testing they want to get from their doctor. Thyroid's a big one because a lot of women are being under-tested for thyroid, and then they're being told, well, you're fine. But they don't feel fine. And they've gained weight and they're tired and maybe their hair's falling out. Maybe they're cold all the time. And yet they may be hypothyroid, but their doctor's missing it. So don't just accept one opinion. If you don't feel right, if you're not sleeping, if your energy, your weight, your mood is off, then you may need to seek another opinion.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And I think a lot of us will not do that because we think, well, I already talked to the GP. This is what they said. Whatever happens, happens. And they don't really ask more questions or dig deeper. And it sounds to me like that's exactly what you do.
Well, yes, that is what I do. So I evaluate, from the initial intake, and I do everything virtually. So I don't have to just work in person. And it's really about finding out the root cause of what's going on with you. And really, nutrition is the bottom line, how you fix all of this. What you eat is pretty much the main thing that you can do to fix it. I also use targeted supplements, which are really, really helpful. But really, it's all in your ability and your hands to be able to change this. It doesn't take a pill or a prescription most of the time. It's about fixing your nutrition for what's going on with your hormones, kind of matching your food to what your hormones are doing. Like if your cortisol is low or if you're pre-diabetic, you have a certain prescription with your food. And that's how you fix those things.
Oh, yeah. Food really does have such a huge impact. And just trying to figure out which foods are helping you, it's a process unto itself. And you never know, like, why am I feeling so great today? And then yesterday, not so much. And then you tie it all back to what you ate. And then you realize, oh, my goodness, yeah, that has an impact on me. And everybody's different.
Absolutely. And the main thing that I see most women doing, they're not eating enough protein and they're eating too many carbohydrates and maybe even a lot of refined carbohydrates and sugars. When we kind of switch that and up the protein and lower the carbs, it just makes a huge difference for so many women. And they get that more sustained energy throughout the day. I mean, certainly you can work on that on your own, but a lot of times it's like you still need that help to know, like, well, how do we dial that in based on your testing?
We need, again, an understanding because without that foundation, you're just throwing darts in the air, so to speak. It's very hard to pinpoint it. And I think that's why you need somebody like you who specializes in helping women with that. You mentioned that you had 3 keys to a vibrant, balanced body for women. What exactly are those 3 keys?
The first key I always look at is hormone testing. Now, there's 2 options to this one. One of them is hormone testing and actually seeing a practitioner like me who's going to dive into what's going on with you and really help you stop guessing. Stop Googling, stop doing it yourself. I mean, maybe you want to do like a bathroom remodel yourself. That's a DIY project, maybe. But when you're dealing with your health and your hormones, it can just take a long time and cost a lot of money if you mess around with it yourself. So get an answer if maybe that's not an option for you. The other thing is to take inventory. And this is something you can sit down with a journal and you can write down, what are these things like? What's your energy like? How do you feel when you wake up? Do you have good energy through the day? Are you tired a lot? What's your weight like? Are you heavier than you were last year? Are you gaining weight? Are you stuck? Are you feel like nothing you do works, that you can't get the weight off no matter what you try? How's your sleep? How's your mood? How's your digestion and your gut health? Those are all questions you can ask because those are all questions I would ask. And also you want to evaluate and be honest with yourself about what is your stress level like? What's your lifestyle like? Because if you're running on coffee and candy bars to get through the day and you're just tired and exhausted and taking care of everybody else but you, and your stress is high, then you're going to have to make some lifestyle changes too. there's no pill that's actually going to fix all of that. So that would be the first thing. So either get your hormones tested by somebody who is a specialist in this area in functional medicine, in women's health, or take your own inventory. So that's number one. Number two is having a healthy nutrition plan for your body. That means based on your testing, because if you come out with some blood testing that shows you're pre-diabetic, then you have to eat a certain way in order to heal that, or else you could move further along and become diabetic. And that is no joke. That is a very serious disease. So the proper nutrition for your body, and that may not be the same one as your friend's body or your sister or your daughter. And then the third key is the support and accountability. And this is really important because this year, I actually became a nationally board certified health and wellness coach on top of being a functional medicine practitioner. The support and accountability is key because even if you find out what's going on with the hormone testing and you know what to do with your nutrition plan, some women still need that support because it can be overwhelming when you start something brand new. And it takes a while to cement your habits in. It can be weeks and months. So that support and accountability is a really big piece.
Absolutely. And everybody's different, as you mentioned. And what happens is women have to take into account their families. They may need specific support for their situation. And if the family maybe is not as supportive because they all want to eat a certain way or
Right.
do something differently, it becomes a challenge. And then us women, we tend to get hard on ourselves and think it's our fault or that it's not going to work. I can't do anything. There are no solutions because I don't want my family to suffer because of me, that sort of thing. And so it becomes a difficult situation. And so talking to a professional like you to be able to figure out like what options there are for their specific lifestyle and scenario is very important.
Yeah. And what I found is women are the hub of the family. So if mom sinks, everybody sinks. Women need to make themselves a priority, put themselves on the list of all the things and all the people they take care of, whatever that means. But it can mean that, hey, I'm going to cook family meals, but I'm eating this way and I'm improving my health so I can feel better and take care of myself too.
100%. And we can't help others if we don't help ourselves. It starts with us. And it's so important to be at the best possible situation that you can be in because then you have more to give to your family. I think we tend to forget that. And that's why it's so important to have that conversation and for our listeners to hear that. The women that are listening are probably experiencing a lot of the things we just discussed, but they've never taken action for the reasons we just talked about. They feel like they don't want to be a burden. It's too much work to take on. I'll do it next time or whatnot. And in the meantime, they're going through these issues with their body and they are just kind of resigning themselves to the fact that that's the way it's going to be. It's nice to know that there's somebody like you that can help them. Dr. Erin, how do they get a hold of you and learn more about the services that you offer?
My website is vibranthealthywoman.com. And on my website, I have a couple free options for you. First of all, I do offer a free healthy hormone session. And this is a free call where we can talk for 60 minutes about what's going on with you, what you would like to see changed. I can give you some ideas, and then I can also tell you what solutions I have for you. So that's a totally free, no obligation call. And you just go to my website and up at the top, you'll see free call. And then you just fill out a survey and then you get into my calendar. I also have a monthly membership club, which is my Vibrant Healthy Woman Wellness Club. And right now I'm offering calls for free. And you can always contact me and just say, hey, you heard me on this podcast and I'm offering 2 free calls. And there's 2 calls a month. It's a great place for support. We have a topic twice a month, question and answers, laser coaching, guest experts, private Facebook groups. So it's just a great way for women to get group support from me as well. So you can always go to my website and look at that under services to the Vibrant Healthy Woman Wellness Club.
And I took a look at your website and it's incredible because you have so many different free programs and all kinds of support that you offer women that make them feel like there's a place to go and to be heard and to get the support that they need, not just from you, but from a community. I'm glad that you are giving those resources right on your website to make it easy for them to reach out to you.
Well, thank you. And yeah, I have a free guide for anybody who wants that. It's right on the homepage of my website. And it's a free guide for steps for women to have more energy. So you can sign up for that and get that as a download.
Dr. Erin, thank you so much for sharing all of this information. I am certain that our listeners have gotten a lot of new insight into the things that they can do for themselves so they can get started, so they can feel better and also be able to live a better quality life for themselves and their families.
Yes, absolutely. And it's my pleasure and it's my passion to help women be as healthy as they can naturally.
Thank you so much. I am so grateful you're here.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to speak with you. It's been nice to talk with you.
That's a wrap for this episode of Live Blissed Out. Thanks to Dr. Erin Foley for joining us, and thanks for listening. If you have a question or comment for a future episode, all you have to do is go to speakpipe.com/LBOVM or click the link in the show notes to leave a brief audio message. If you find value in our show, please visit liveblисsedout.com to reach out, subscribe, and share on social media. This show is made possible through listeners like you. Thank you. So long for now, and remember to keep moving forward.